Hello, sixth form. Today we're going to continue with chapter 11 from Billionaire Boy. Chapter 11, Camping Holiday. You missed a bit, said Bob. Joe bent down and picked up another piece of litter from the playground and put it in the bin liner Miss Spite had so generously provided. It was 5 o'clock now and the playground was empty of children. Only their litter remained. I thought you said you were going to help me, accused Joe. I am helping you. There's another bit. Bob pointed to another sweet wrapper that was lying on the asphalt as he munched a bag of crisps. Joe bent down to pick it up. It was a Twix wrapper. Probably the one he himself had dropped on the ground earlier that day. Well, I guess everyone knows how rich you are now, Joe, said Bob. Sorry about that. Yeah, I guess so. I suppose now all the kids at the school are going to want to be your friend, said Bob quietly. When Joe looked at him, Bob turned away. Maybe, Joe smiled. But it means more that we were friends before everyone knew. Bob grinned. Cool, he said. Then he pointed to the ground at his feet. You missed another bit there, Joe. Thanks, Bob, Joe sighed, as he bent down again, this time to pick up the crisp packet his friend had just dropped. Oh no, said Bob. What's the matter? Grubs. Where? Over by the bike shed. What do they want? Lurking behind the shed were the twins. When they spotted Joe and Bob, they waved. I don't know what was worse, continued Bob, being bullied by them or being invited around for tea. Hello, Bob, shouted one grub as they started lolloping towards them. Hello, grubs, Bob called back wearily. Inexorably, the two bullies reached where the two boys were standing. We have been thinking, continued the other. We are going on a camping trip at the weekend. Would you like to come? Bob looked at Joe for help. A camping holiday with these two was not an inviting invitation. Oh, what a terrible shame, said Bob. I am busy this weekend. Next weekend? Asked Grub One. That one too, I'm afraid. The one after that? Asked the other. Completely, stammered Bob. Chock full of things I've got to do. So sorry. It sounds so much fun. Anyway, see you two tomorrow. Sorry, I would love to chat, but I have to help Joe with his litter duty. Bye. Any weekend next year? Asked the first grub. Bob stopped. Next year is really busy for me, so I'd really love to, but I am so sorry. How about the year after? Asked Grub 2. Any free weekends? We have a lovely tent. Bob couldn't keep it any longer. Look, one day you are bullying me. Then next, you are inviting me to spend the weekend with you in a tent. What on earth is going on? The grubs looked to Joe for help. Joe, said one of them. We thought it would be easy being nice to Blob, said the other. But he just says no to everything. What do you want us to do, Joe? Joe coughed, not very subtly. But the grubs didn't seem to get the hint. You paid them not to bully me, didn't you? Demanded Bob. No, replied Joe unconvincingly. Bob turned to the grubs. Did he? He demanded. No, yes, said the grubs. We mean yes, no. How much did he pay you? The grubs looked at Joe for help, but it was too late. They were all busted. 10 pounds each, said a grub. And we saw the helicopter, Spud. We're not stupid. We want more cash. Yeah, continued the other. And you're going in the bin, Joe, unless you give us 11 pounds each, first thing tomorrow. The grubs stomped off. Bob's eyes filled with angry tears. You think money is the answer to everything, don't you? Joe was baffled. He had paid off the grubs to help Bob. He was utterly perplexed as to see why his friend was so upset. Bob, I was just trying to help you. I am not some charity case, you know. I know that. I was just. Yes? I just didn't want to see you put in the bin again. Right, said Bob. So you thought it would be better if the grubs were really weird and friendly and going on about camping trips. Well, they sort of came up with the camping trip on their own. But yes. Bob shook his head. I can't believe you. You're such a spoiled brat. What? Said Joe. I was just helping you out. Would you really rather be put in the bin and have your chocolate stolen? Yes, shouted Bob. Yes, I would. I'll fight my own battles. Thank you. Suit yourself, said Joe. Have fun being dumped in the bin. I will, replied Bob before storming off. Loser, shouted Joe, but Bob didn't turn back. Joe stood alone. A sea of litter surrounded him. He stabbed at a Mars wrapper with his litter stick. He couldn't believe Bob. He thought he'd found a friend, but all he'd really found was a selfish, bad-tempered, ungrateful plumface.